Hello, Leo, and welcome to your December 1st through 15th tarot card reading. So, it's very exciting. We're in the final month of 2017, and let's just dive right in. I've already shuffled and meditated on your sign, and I drew a couple animal cards, which I will start by reading from the book, and then I will give you my intuitive sense. And this is just a thematic energy to keep in mind as we move through the rest of the spread, and also as we move through the first couple of weeks of December. So, all right, so let's jump in. For Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, we have the tiger and the snake. And there is this feeling of pulling back, like shedding, in the same way the snake sheds their skin. There's pulling back the layers, and there's this exposure. There's the pulling back the layers of something. There's bringing something to light, bringing something out that has been hidden or buried or unseen or untouched for quite some time. So, and it feels ready to come out. In many ways, there's a readiness there. But I just wanted to say that because it was a very visceral experience of like pulling away the layers that I got when I saw the snake card. Okay, so the snake. And these feel very much side by side, like hand in hand. So they're working together, and there's this like fierceness. There's this focus around this transformation, around this opening up. Really beautiful. Okay, here we go. And this feels like it's something, it's like something really new is coming in, and there's something that you're seeing for the first time is what it feels like, or experiencing for what it feels like to be the first time. So there is this, but then there's this deep wisdom behind that as well. So there's this newness, there's this stepping into the unknown, there's this engaging with this new experience, these new sensations. And you could have in some way or form experienced them in the past, but there's something about how you're cycling through this sensational experience of the circumstances that you're finding yourself in right now, that feels very conscious and just very, very, very new. You feel a newness in relation to whatever this is. You feel there's just it's something that's come in that feels like it's bringing a totally different texture into your life experience and how you've been experiencing your life up until just recently. So the tiger, lunar force, ease and darkness. It's a time for ease and darkness. Feminine energy. The tiger hunts at night, at one with the silence, fearing nothing. This card reminds us to take in the wild darkness, to allow the lunar forces to soothe and heal our spirits. Sensuality, receptivity, and devotion are all heightened in the midnight hour, and the tiger takes advantage of these boons. Spend some time in silence this evening, drinking in the potent calm. There is nothing to fear in the stillness except the awakening of your own power, and that's what I feel is happening in a big way. When in balance, passionate, strong, sensual. When out of balance, overstimulated. To bring into balance, Tritaka, candle gazing. Beautiful. Candle gazing. That would be such a strong practice to play with during these couple of weeks. My moon is in Leo, so I will play with that as well. The snake. So there's this transformation that's taking place. There's this stepping into the mystery, stepping into the darkness, and it feels like hot. It feels so whatever this, there's something heightened about this experience that you're in, and it's about finding the ease through this experience. How can you ease your way through? Because of the heat, the high stakes, the sensitivity. And whatever this is that you're experiencing, it does feel very visceral. So let me go ahead and read the snake. And both of these cards, again, carry so much wisdom. So there is this unpeeling and revealing and coming into contact with this deep wisdom that you're now integrating through your system in a whole new way. Snake. Okay. Snake, guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. Oh my gosh, this is so palpable, this energy. So just right off the bat, what's coming in there is there's this feeling of, well, let me go ahead and read it. I'm going to try to do this one thing at a time. So guardian of unawakened magic and creative potential. The snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that Shakti, our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of our spine in the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke it up? How can you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste. The snake card appears when there is no more time to waste. When in balance, prosperous, creative, charismatic. When out of balance, starts and stops many things. To bring into balance, Kundalini yoga meditation. So yeah, there's this, I feel that there's this like unawakened, there's this, and it almost feels like it's sort of this energy field that you're tapping into in the same way we see this snake coiling around all of this color, all of these goodies, this treasure. And I feel that what you are working your way through is you're sort of piercing through this protective layer. So there's this releasing, there's this working with in order to work through. There's this unpeeling of this protective layer. And underneath that, what you're going for, and it's you know what you're going for, you're tapping into these unawakened resources, this unawakened wisdom that you're now waking up. And whatever this is that you're opening up to, that you're connecting with, that you're letting out, that you're integrating, it's a game changer. It's going to change the form of how you relate, of how you show up in the world. It creates this restructuring in how you move through your relationships and your experiences. So there is something, it's impactful even to sort of how you identify yourself and how you choose to identify yourself and how you are identified. So there's this reformulating that's possible once you pull away and release this. And I just heard surrender too, in order to move through. So sort of that same idea of just becoming aware of this protective layer. Maybe it's around your heart. Maybe it's around, maybe it's in the physical body. But there is just this peeling away of this protective layer, and this true transformation. It's taking one thing, and it's like a butterfly. It's sort of that energy, or a dragonfly, something in hibernation that then pops out of, like the dragonfly, out of the water and grows wings. So there's this transmutation. There's a true transmutation here and transformation. Okay, so let's keep this in mind as we move through the rest of the spread. So we have in your focal point the Hermit. There's this coming out of your shell, crossed by the Daughter of Wands. In recent past, we have the Emperor reversed. Anchoring the spread, we have the Five of Pentacles. In the near future here, we have the Son of Wands reversed. Crowning the spread, we have the Nine of Swords reversed. So this represents also your general energy. We have the Moon reversed. An environment, we have the World reversed. Hopes and fears, we have the Sun. Beautiful. And then in carrying us into mid-December here, we have the Father of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. And then there were two cards, there's one card that wanted to come out from Colette Baron Reid's A Good Tarot, which I will read, and that is the Magician. Beautiful. So there's this coming into your own power here. We have the Hermit as the focal point, crossed by the Daughter of Wands. So the Hermit, it's this self-study, it's this evaluation, and then there's this coming out that I feel with this card, this sort of peeking out of your shell. And again, that's something coming to light, opening up to something, revealing part of yourself, revealing something to yourself about yourself. So deep self-study feels like there's this, it is just very, very alive for you right now. It's this looking at yourself and how you move through things and how you create and how you relate. And the Daughter of Wands, I do feel, crossing the Hermit, I feel like a lot of what we're looking at is our creative process. And part of what you're working to unlock here, whatever it is that you are moving through and unlocking, it's with the intention of opening up to this creative potential, tapping into this creative life force. So there's this strong desire to create, to take initiative, I just heard. To take creative initiative. So anchoring the spread, we have the Five of Pentacles. And in the recent past, we have the Emperor reversed. So there's this sense of moving from a time of scarcity, moving through. So you've been through this this scarcity consciousness. And this could be in the distant past, but also I feel this sense of lack and loss and melancholy. And I just heard spent, so just feeling spent. And then it's almost as if this Five of Pentacles, carrying up into the recent past of the Emperor reversed, there's been underneath the surface, and potentially in front of the surface, but particularly in relation to this reading, whatever this is, I feel like you've been cultivating there's been a lot of self-growth, a lot of development under the surface. And now you're looking at this question of How do I bring that out? I'm ready to bring it out. You're ready to bring it out and play with it. So there's this coming out with something. There's this coming out with something. You want to work. You want to come out with sort of. You've done all this work, lining everything up, exploring, developing, nurturing these internal realms, these very personal experiences, this personal experience of yourself. There's been this nurturing of that, and this feeling, building this feeling of emotional fertility, and creative fertility, I just heard, and spiritual fertility, I just heard. So, and now you're saying, okay, now I'm hungry, I'm ready to go bigger with this, to start to bring this out into the light of day, and to start to work with it in a whole new way. So this is carrying us into the Son of Wands reversed in the near future. So there's a line of communication that is coming up really strong around this. So some sort of conversation, some line of communication with, I feel for many of you, it's someone in your environment that's gonna come to the forefront of your attention in this December 1st through 15th period of time. So it's like there's this conversation that needs to be had, and the feeling I'm getting is like planting in a flag, like sticking a flag into the ground, claiming something for yourself. So there's this discussion around, I just heard boundaries, and also desires. I just heard hopes and fears. So it feels like it's this organizing conversation with, for many of you, another. This could be with yourself, but it's an organizing conversation to get things in line, to get things in order, to align, to get on the same page. And it's almost as if there's someone who you really have their attention. So for this conversation, the feeling is that you're engaging with someone who cares, who really cares to engage, who cares to work with you. Who's, I just heard all ears. So there's someone waiting for this conversation. And the 9 of Swords reversed, crowning the spread. So there's clarity that is going to be coming in. And I feel the feeling is that there's sort of been this feeling of uncertainty and worry and about the details and about how will it work, how will this go. And there's this feeling that whatever perhaps this conversation is, or this interaction is, this point of clarity is reached. So there's this feeling of a resolution around whatever this, I just heard an out loud resolution around this topic that you were sort of, you were hearing those noisy worries and those conversations in your head and things like that, that you were analyzing and really, really looking at. It was sort of taking a lot of your attention. So there's this clarity that's coming in, and also this surrendering from that point. So I feel like this conversation is very significant, and there is a sense of, I just heard closure and completion through this, but it's this and it's this gateway into I just heard whatever's next. So it's like almost like a decision energy, a decision making energy to a degree as well. More so though, a clarifying energy. So there's clarity. Okay, in this your general energy here, we have the moon reversed. So I feel that we're looking at, again, in the same way with the Hermit, this deep emotional exploration. And so there's this tenderness around whatever it is that you're bringing out, whatever this is that you're peeling away, and you're bringing it out. Does feel like a very real gear change. And that's probably the reason for a lot. There's this rewiring, it feels like, that's happening. There's this process of rewiring that's taking place. And you're going to feel it. You're going to sort of feel it and letting go sort of those imposing thoughts and need to know how things will pan out. There's this letting down and setting down of that. There's this surrendering to that as this rewiring. It feels very conscious. You're conscious of this rewiring that is taking place. And it feels like at times you can experience that as there is that ease and darkness that you're going to have to call up during this time, saying, okay, let me just surrender let me just be easeful as I move through this unknown. Because it's almost, I can see it sort of just a couple little light, it's darkness, and then more as this rewiring takes place, it's like more and more and more comes to light, and there's this actualizing of yourself as I just heard, as this new being, in this new reality, in this new way of experiencing yourself. That is, it's like lights come on and on and on and on and on. But in order to do that, it does require that at first you find that ease and that surrender in the dark to a degree. You surrender to the present. You surrender to the not knowing. You surrender to the now. And knowing that I just heard what will be, will be. So knowing that there is an order to this, that it's really right now the answer is in your presence and is in this conscious releasing of whatever this protective layer is. This stepping through into this new version of yourself. This allowing of this transformation to take place. So in your environment, the world, so synchronicities, follow the synchronicities. This will be your guiding light. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. Find those moments, those things that are signposts leading you forward. There is synchronicity will show you exactly where you're meant to go. So it's just about raising your consciousness to those synchronicities. But really, in this time of darkness, part of the way to find that ease, that easefulness, is trusting in the synchronicities, trusting that the synchronicities will lead you to where you are meant to go. So follow the synchronicities. Hopes and fears, the sun. So you know that there's something big on the horizon. You know that there's breakthrough. You know that that what you're heading towards is bright and light and worth it. So there's this ambition and there's this faith. There's this truly seeing the light, even in the darkness. And there's this knowing that there's something calling you forward, that you're moving towards something that is possible and is worthwhile, and is exciting and beautiful. So there is this hope for this actualizing of your dreams, this new future. There's this doorway. There's this hope of stepping through this doorway and there's this hope of a lot of light, of a lot of potential, of a lot of possibility. So it's almost as if you just know that you're heading towards the right thing. You just know it. You're like, I know that I'm in the right direction, that I'm going in the right direction, that that I know what I'm going for here, and I know I'm that following my heart in this way, following this call is right, and it will lead me to where ultimately I want to go, whatever that looks like. So heading into mid-December here, we have the Father of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. And this is a water energy. So we have Scorpio and Pisces and Cancer. And there's this quietness here. So there's this quietness, there's this tenderness, there's a stillness around this energy. Almost a waiting, like waiting on something. And there's this watching this grow. So there's watching something grow and build. And this feels like a joint venture, I just heard. So this is something that we're looking at. There's this real cultivation of something that is quite meaningful. And whoever this character is, or this could be you, watching, just mindful of the development of something that's deeply connected to this process of unveiling these new aspects of yourself and building on that. So it's really sort of as this rewiring happens, it's sort of watching it all light up in your system. It's watching it take. So you're really watching this process unfold in a beautiful and conscious way, and it's so powerful. So excuse me. So let me go ahead and read this. This is just going to sum up the reading, and also this feels strong as moving into mid-December, something to keep in mind, the Magician. Here we go. The Magician, alchemy. And that does feel absolutely like what's happening here is this alchemy, this process of turning one thing into another, and something quite magical about it. When I am in alignment with Spirit's will, miracles are possible. Follow those synchronicities. So important during these 2 weeks for you. Follow the synchronicities. When I see this card, I'm reminded that my will and skill alone will yield limited results. When I remember my partnership with Spirit, all is well. I'm required to explore my commitment to this co-creative alchemical relationship and see the results manifest beautifully. Through me, Spirit works magic. And that's why this opening is so important, because it's through this unveiling that Spirit can really work through you. So let me just read that last line one more time. I'm required to explore my commitment to this co-creative alchemical relationship and see the results manifest beautifully. Through me, Spirit works magic. So go with it. Go with this transformation. Find that ease within the dark. Gaze at, do some candle gazing. Follow those synchronicities. There's this importance around this this unveiling process that's happening, and you're really, really, really meant to experience it. So be present. Be present. Be as present as you can be at this time, because it's all there for you. It's all there in this moment. So instead of anticipating and anticipating and assuming and, going, your mind shooting off into the future, or way back into the past. Really, it's so important that you trust and know that everything is here for you in this moment, and it's this moment that's really calling for your full attention. So I love you with all my heart. I hope that this was helpful. Check out your moon sign and your rising sign so you can piece together a more holistic reading for yourself. And I'm wishing you the most beautiful start to December. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm sending you all of my love, and I love you.